The Bungie crash is imminent. The snowball is rolling down the mountain, and it's causing an avalanche, and it's about to hit the ground, and it's going to destroy the entire village. No more Bungie. Long gone are the days of Halo, and long gone will be the days of Destiny and Destiny 2. And who knows, maybe we'll never see Marathon, and maybe that will be good for humanity. Concord 2.0, let's go. From the Act Man, the never-ending decline of Bungie.
Boy, I sure do love Bungie. And now that they're leaving Microsoft, they can cast off the corporate chains, make games on their own, and finally, they can be their true selves.
I knew this was gonna go bad. As soon as I started hearing about Destiny, as soon as I saw Destiny, I was like, oh no. Oh no, what is happening? And then it released, and my roommate at the time was super into it. Didn't play anything else. So I watched the entire thing unfold. It was bad. It was unbalanced. It was so bad. Glitches, banning people for getting into glitch spots, seeing that, oh, this area was actually here, we're just locked out of it because they're gonna sell it to us later.
Put the shackles back on them.
If my 16-year-old self had seen what Bungie has become today, I wouldn't believe it. And if you told me that in 2025 I'd think Bungie is worse than EA, I'd say, okay, sure, Grandpa.
Yeah, I think about 15, 20 years with almost every studio, it starts to rot. It's too old, you got too big, you got too much money, trying to make more money, more and more and more and more and more, bigger, better. You get corrupt people who want to line their pockets, and that's all they care about. Make it bigger and better so they can get more rich, buy bigger boats, more cars.
Let's get you back to the home. Yet here we are, living in a life beyond reality. Bungie has recently been exposed for some damning plagiarism, and today we're going to be covering Bungie's current reputation, the state of Marathon, just how bad this plagiarism is. So let's jump into it. Bungie was the first game developer I could attach a face to. When you play video games as a kid, you don't really think about the people behind them. But that all changed with Halo 2 when my mom got a copy of the collector's edition at an auction.
Same. I also got that Halo 2 Steelbook edition.
And it had a bonus disc with all these extra features like fucking Lord of the Rings. I remember watching those Vidocs and thinking, man, the people who make video games are...
Yeah, this one and God of War 2 also had this, where it came with an extra disc. And it was great. Remember when that was a thing that would happen? That you'd get an extra, like, bonus disc and it had stuff like this on it? What other games were like that? I know I had a few more. Metal Gear Solid 2? 3? I don't know.
Pretty cool. Now look at me, covering the dastardly deeds of a developer that inspired me. You know, someone at Bungie once told me that Bungie may have left Microsoft, but Microsoft never left them. And I think with each passing day, this statement continues to please Captain Hindsight.
You know it'd be crazy? If Sony decided to gut Bungie and then sell it back to Microsoft. I could see it happening, man.
This is not the first or last controversy Bungie will ever have, but it seems like one of the worst. What am I talking about? Everyone's favorite subject in high school, plagiarism.
Hey, why not just go over there to Nintendo? Try your hand at Nintendo next, see what you can do over there.
You made this? I made this. You see, they're currently rebooting Marathon. Remember that trilogy of FPS games that came out shortly after Doom, giving Bungie the knowledge to then use that experience on Halo? Recently, they opened the Marathon Alpha up to players, and the reception has been lukewarm at best.
Yeah, they just slapped an old IP's name on it because they already had the rights to use it, and it was familiar, and they can't really come up with their own ideas. Obviously. I said this before it came out that they stole all the art, that I was like, they can't come up with original ideas. And look at that, even the art was stolen.
Most agree that Bungie's art direction is solid as always. Or is it? But that Marathon's gameplay is somewhat divisive. Extraction shooters are a tough sell, but Whether you enjoy Marathon or not isn't the issue. It's the unjustifiable act of a multi-billion-dollar corporation and not wanting to pay artists to create art.
And dude, so many people come out to defend these multi-billion-dollar corporations who are just making slop. I haven't been getting anybody defending them now. They all of a sudden they all just disappeared. But it's like every time with these corporate slop games. I don't know if people are just in denial or what. They used to love these companies back when they were making great stuff, and then they're just like still holding on, hoping, coping,
but instead steal it from others.
I love stealing. I love taking things.
Especially at a time when artists are being screwed over by AI. It feels like pouring salt on a guy's crotch after you kick him in the balls. So this comes to us from user N2, part of Anti-Real, the company that hosted all of the art. The Marathon Alpha released recently, and its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017. The year Destiny 2 came out?
Coincidence? I think not.
Now, as you can see on some of these weapons, this logo is... it's pretty bad. That's... you got caught. You got caught. And you can also see these logos, though very small.
You know, I'm actually here for this. I'm glad this whole situation happened. Because finally, people can see that these gambling simulator creator companies are evil and stupid and can't come up with original ideas.
They've been reused across multiple assets in Marathon. Yeah, from Marathon homepage, from Marathon press kit, from 2016.
Yeah, this game's fucked. Like, they have to remove all this art. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, with receipts and everything. So pretty undeniable. N2 continues, Bungie is of course not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws overwhelmingly from the same design language I have refined for the last decade.
How crazy is it? How much did they spend on this? $300 million? They spent that much and couldn't figure out that they were using stolen fucking art? Like, are you serious? How does this happen? I think incompetence. That's how you end up spending $300 million in the first place. Incompetence.
But clearly my work was good enough to pillage for ideas and plaster all over the game without pay or attribution. Important to also note, I see that Joseph Cross also follows you. Is there any insight you can give? He followed me for a few years and a few others from Bungie. Never had any communication. So it would seem the Bungie franchise art director was familiar with the person that some of his employees was stealing art from.
Yeah, and I can get using it for reference. I don't know about completely ripping it off. You didn't even change much.
The more you look into it, the worse it gets. I'm going to say that a few times in this video. These comparisons are so blatant. It's more blatant than the kid that tried to steal my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the 4th grade. It's like, dude, you asked to see my deck, and then you just pulled my secret rare magic cylinder out and...
Bro, this happened with me. Or to me. With a PSP. A kid stole my PSP. My PSP disappeared, and then, like, the next day, he came to school with the same PSP that I had. He just didn't know that I carved my name into where the battery goes. And another kid that I was friends with said that he went with him to go get the PSP. And guess what? Whenever I checked, my name was carved into the battery bay. You know, just blatant theft. I knew it was mine. It had like all the scratch marks. He didn't just buy it from Walmart because it was all scratched up and used. What an idiot.
Slapped it underneath your butt cheeks. I saw you do that. Why? So yeah, Bungie just straight fucking ripped this guy's art. Like you'd rip a fat, nasty fart on an airplane where nobody can escape because you're a terrible human being. Now, I've talked with Zavala, and even he can't defend this. Isn't that right?
Guardian, let me just say this. I could offer you 3 guns. I could give you 4 guns. I could go even further beyond and let you hold 5. But Guardian, there's no amount of weapons that can excuse plagiarism. Remember, kids, plagiarism funded 9/11.
Zavala, can you try to be normal for once?
Have you retrieved those pictures of Ikora's feet yet?
I don't know what just happened. Okay.
If you really wanted to cope or simp for Bungie, you'd probably say something like, well, what's the big deal, Actan? It's just some tiny logos from a random artist. It's not like you're copying a review or something. My friend, the problem with plagiarism is not always how gross or blatant the offense is. It's having to wonder if there's more. When you see a
Oh, 100%. I've been saying that we're gonna find some more plagiarism inside Destiny. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some stuff in Halo, but that's too old now, you know. That was a different company. Different people working there back then. These are all new people. And we're talking almost 20 years later. Same company. Different people. Different company now.
rat scuttling around your house, you don't think to yourself, oh, look, that's just one rat. No, you think, how many Jews are under the floorboards right now? Oh, Jews, I mean, geez, oh God, that came out wrong. I'm canceled for sure.
Go ahead and cancel me, I don't care.
If you're a plagiarist, the goal is to steal someone's work that isn't recognizable or familiar with your work. You hope it's obscure enough that nobody notices or cares. So if Bungie is willing to steal art from one creator, how many others are they stealing from? Is this a repeated pattern of behavior? We'll find out later. I can't even
Yeah, it was like the fourth time that they've done the plagiarism that they've been caught out on. Most definitely they've done it more. If they keep catching cases, man, they've gone to court how many times so far?
imagine the legal ramifications of releasing a game to the public that has plagiarized assets. If you sell that to people, lawyers, help me out in the comments below. Someone get legal on this. I would probably cry myself to sleep for the rest of my life if I ever found out that Zavala's bright blue ass wasn't original.
Guardian, I'm not fat, I'm just dummy thick.
Zavala, I don't think the cool kids say that anymore.
Fuck you, Guardian!
The more you look into this place,
We gotta follow all the trends. We gotta see what's popular. We gotta make something popular. You know what's really trendy? AI art and just ripping people off. Everybody rips each other off, man. Why not the multi-billion-dollar corporations?
plagiarism controversy, the worse it gets.
But how bad could it be?
I hid loss in my design 6 years ago, and nobody caught on. And, fellas, Marathon has the loss meme in-game.
Son of a bitch! You done fucked it up!
For those looking around, dazed and confused, wondering, what's loss? What is that? The second I put it up on screen, you are gonna know exactly what it is. That's what I thought. The meme is like one of the most reposted images on the internet, to the point where all it takes to represent the comic strip is just like 8 lines. And this is in Marathon. They plagiarized sticks. They plagiarized sticks, man. I love from Marathon.
Yeah, I bet somebody was like, oh, that's a cool symbol. I wonder what that means. I mean, it's part of the art style. Let's put it in.
Bulletin. Come on, man. Dude, I was scrolling and they deadass stole this whole dude's portfolio, and even some Bungie devs art people follow him. This is so heartbreaking. It's over for Bungie. This is unacceptable.
Dude, they are so cooked. I've been saying, like, this Bungie's just gonna keep getting worse. Even if this time people are like, oh, no, maybe next time they'll make something good, it'll get worse. It's just gonna keep getting worse. Everything's getting worse. All these companies are just getting worse. Just let them die. Stop playing their games. Stop giving them money. Start criticizing them even more than you think they deserve, because fuck them.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say parody is dead on planet Earth. You just couldn't make Monty Python these days. Reality is simply too absurd. And if that wasn't bad enough, that this person is getting their art stolen,
Bro, we're starting to make Idiocracy look bad.
the gaming publication DualShockers is publicly posting fake quotes.
What?
I'm completely floored, she wrote. This is my full-time job. I sell these posters online, they're not obscure. A major company has deemed it necessary to pay a designer to imitate or trace rather than license or commission the work. Insane fake quote, LOL. I am unemployed.
What? I didn't even know this. I saw people, okay. I saw people using that.
That's a double whammy right there. Let's steal your voice and your talent. What is happening? Homie can't catch a break. Do a good thing today and go follow N2.
Yep, this person's gonna no longer be unemployed.
If you still use Twitter. But it doesn't stop there, folks. So I found this thread on Blue Sky, who appears to be another person involved with the art on Anti-Real. I'll link it in the description if you want to read it yourself. But I want to scroll down. I do not need names found on assets to assume that we have been stalked insanely by Joseph A. Cross for a long time. I will close with this. This existed for years. No one in the game industry or films hired anyone. Anti-Real became a Pinterest for these corporate games to claim our hard work as their own, to earn quick money and settle small collaterals. Disgusting. That really sums it up well. I mean, the Bungie of the early 2000s, to think them capable of such a thing is mind-boggling. But this is the kind of thing that happens when greed takes over, and making money and cutting the workforce.
Yeah, we all know it. We all knew that these companies were shitty. Just how they were shitty, you know, and how shitty they were. That was the question. But I've been saying that when you got gambling simulators, and that's all you're basing your game around is gambling simulator, and the only reason you took out all the worst shit was because the government made you, and you would have just made it get worse. You would have let it get worse. Make more money if you could. And who knew that they were just gonna blatantly rip somebody off, because these people are fucking evil. They don't care. They only care about money. Whatever makes them the most money, that's the thing to do. That's the way to go.
And saving as much as you possibly can and being the cheapest motherfucker out there. This is the kind of stuff that happens.
I don't even play video games, this guy says.
And that Marathon is going to release an art book. Can we at least call it the art book Anti-Real art book? How the fuck does that work, dog? Anyways.
I didn't even know that they were just gonna release an art book with all of Anti-Real's ripped off art and sell it to people. That's fucking insane. Okay, it already got worse. There's more to this? I thought this was like all of it already.
Artists are really being treated like shit nowadays. Which reminds me, remember that $8,000 art contest I announced a few months ago? Well, I have finally decided all of the winners, including this pencil drawing of me as Goku. It is gorgeous. Thank you, Folding Solid. And who could forget Dill the Great? That's me and my homie Arbiter, man. Fantastic. He's won $100. And Sad Gore 5088 with his Cowboy Man art. You're all right, boy. I'm still working to pay off all of the different winners. There's a lot of them, including those who got the top 3 spots. So if that video is not available today, you'll see it on Ackman TV, me going through all the fan art submissions in the next couple days. If you want to see more of this fan art or just want to interact with me and the rest of my awesome community, you can join the Discord server, link down below, or join my subreddit.
You know, that is really cool, actually. I gotta give it to Ackman. That's a cool thing to do with your community. I'm probably not gonna do anything like that.
Thank you for your patience. And now, back to the video. Now let's take a look at Bungie's response. They ran an hour-long marathon with 0 gameplay footage.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this video, man, that they did. It was so bad. I watched Asmongold cover this.
While scrubbing the art for plagiarism, as the game's art director offers a personal apology. There is absolutely no excuse for this oversight, Bungie says. So how did this happen? Well, Cross says, it came to our attention that an artist who worked on Marathon in the early stages of pre-production took a number of graphic elements from a graphic designer without permission or acknowledgement and placed them on a decal sheet that was then checked in 2020.
How do you not keep track of who submits in what? And the person who got fired, why didn't you look through? Even if they weren't fired, why didn't you look through their stuff? It's insane. It's like you're just shitting a game together.
Cross said that Bungie has reached out to Anti-Real and followed up to ensure we do right by this artist. No exact details on what Bungie intends to do were provided. I
can't wait to see what that interaction was like. Did Anti-Real just be like, no, fuck you, remove all my art. I don't want anything, remove my art.
My personal apology to Anti-Real, whose work was used in this case. So, at the very least, Bungie has publicly apologized, which, I mean, it's the bare minimum, but it's something.
Yeah, they need to delay this really bad. They really need to cancel it, but I think there's too much money in it to cancel it now.
This is one of those colossal fuck-ups that you can't really brush aside and say, oh, it's just an administrative error. Bungie.
This is one of the worst fuck-ups in all of video games history. This is going down in the books, man. One of the worst things that could possibly happen to a game corporation. We're going to be talking about this in Did You Know Gaming videos for years to come.
Bungie accused of plagiarizing yet again. What? What do you mean yet again?
What?
This isn't the first time? Bungie is once again in the plagiarism hot seat. This isn't the first time Bungie or a contractor working with them would allegedly lift another creator's work without permission. In 2023, artist element J21 noticed an uncanny representation of their work used in a cutscene for Destiny 2 Lightfall. You can see this pretty fucking blatant as well. No, actually it's completely different. See this triangle? See this triangle on the left? They didn't finish the pyramid. No, it's completely different. Case closed. Last year, Destiny 2 weapon skin featured identical elements of artist Tofu Rabbit's original design from 2015.
Yeah, I've covered all of this. So stupid. Like, it keeps happening.
In both instances, Bungie would agree to pay the artists. Is this just how they run business now?
Yeah. They hire people that they like, probably, that are like-minded, have the same kind of politics, wanting to make money, wanting to make their way up into the managerial game. And they're just shitting out a product because of money, and it's easy. They don't have to really do anything. They probably don't even know how to make things. Probably a terrible artist. Just been ripping people off this whole time to make their way to the top. Probably all throughout all of their games. And it's just ingrained in their system. That's just how they do things. Maybe it's because they have so much crunch going on that it's just easier to generate art or just rip off somebody's art. Like, they're not gonna know it. They're not gonna know that I ripped off their art. They don't play games. They're not gonna play this marathon game. And hey, if it's super successful, then we can just pay them $1 million out of our billions of profit that we're gonna make off of this amazing game. Fucking idiots.
This is a repeated pattern of behavior. I mean, it's only happened 3 times, guys. Give them a break. Now you might be wondering, what does EA have to do with all of this? Not a whole lot, but the point remains that I'm trying to make is that not even Electronic Arts would do something this egregious. I like bringing up
Yet. I don't think that they've started with the plagiarism stuff, but I think it's coming. Whenever we get to the AI stuff, it's gonna get weird.
EA whenever other game companies pull some shady shit, because EA is like the benchmark of what you expect a greedy, soulless, awful, money-grubbing corporation to do.
Is this good for the player?
They're like every anti-consumer stereotype wrapped up into one nice, neat little package. So if EA is somehow able to gain the moral high ground over you, bad look. That's a bad look.
Bad business.
So let's take a look at a plagiarism scandal that EA had back in 2012. Just for comparison, EA responds to Command & Conquer plagiarism claims. Controversial tank designs will not be used in Tiberium Alliance. There were similarities between the designs for Tiberium Alliance's Grinder and Bombard tanks and Warhammer 40k's Bone Cruncher and Baneblade vehicles. Side note, why does Warhammer 40k always have the greatest names for everything? True Nurgle homies, stand up right now. Be recognized.
Fucking love Warhammer. Warhammer's great. I don't even play Warhammer. I just like all the lore.
In the comments.
And the art.
EA claims that the art depicting the vehicles was released accidentally, and the IP issues have already been resolved with Game Workshop. The artwork was internal EA concept art that was unintentionally released publicly. No Warhammer 40k tanks ever have made an appearance in Command & Conquer, Tiberium Alliances, and never will, an EA representative said.
And it was also like, not just a picture of art ripped off from the internet. I bet somebody looked at the design and used that as a base to design their own thing. And it probably looked slightly different. It probably had a lot of differences and just kind of looked similar, you know? Not blatantly ripped off.
So the story here is that the scandal has already been resolved by the time the story broke. The story is that there is no longer a story. The issue has been resolved. If you're being charitable to EA, they probably used Warhammer designs as inspiration to base their own designs off of, or maybe they felt a similar aesthetic would work in Command & Conquer. Regardless, the art was leaked. It was internal and it wasn't released as part of a product that people could purchase or play. This makes it way different than what's going on with Bungie, because this time it has gone through all those channels. I think that's an important distinction, and one that's, well, EA got the moral high ground. And this 13-year-old Reddit comment validates what EA said, that they don't see any evidence of the tank on the game's official website. So they're asking, where did this image come from?
Yeah, they're gonna have to completely scrub all of this art. How are they gonna do that? I don't think they're gonna be able to. I think they'll release it, maybe. They'll release it with the art removed, and there's still gonna be ripped off art. What if they change the art style and it's still plagiarized? That would be amazing.
Basically. Now, if we didn't live in a clown world, then this would be the end of the controversy for the video. But the comedy isn't over, ladies and gentlemen. You see, Bungie had the misfortune of planning a promotional stream for Marathon right around the time this accusation broke. And well, chat, you didn't disappoint.
Yep, the chat went nuts and the stream was broken. Absolute cinema. Everything about Bungie just kind of crashed down all around them at once. All the bad things. Everyone saw it.
Yeah, we're working on a bunch of stuff, working with Lars's team.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
You could sum up the vibes in one screenshot. Boy, he sure looks happy, doesn't he? Plagiarism will make me God. Now, for any artists watching this, how would you feel in this situation? Just let me know down in the comments below. I'm very curious.
I would be super pleased if Bungie ripped off my art, because I'd be crashing out, man. I'd be playing it up probably a little bit, making YouTube videos about it. Like, Bungie stole my art! I want everything removed! Every last bit!
Yes, thank you for stealing my work. As we talked about in a previous video on AI, you can check that out if you want, greedy CEOs and corporations are looking to cull as many talented artists as possible from their workforce, since they believe robots and AI can create art that is just as good. But as we all learned from SpongeBob,
robots can't love.
if Bungie was so interested in their art they were willing to steal it, why not hire them? And when push comes to shove, are we as a community willing to stand up for these people against the Goliath? I'm just saying, if I see a GoFundMe link pop up on my feed, pretty good chance I'll click it. This plagiarism controversy is really bad because among all the other controversies, Bungie has always had their solid art direction to lean on. But that is no longer the case. As one comment under the Marathon trailer points out, the Bungie art team never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, and how humbling does it gotta be, though, for that artist? For Bungie, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, just completely rip you off for their next big upcoming game. I mean, sucks that they got ripped off, but imagine knowing that information, oh, it really was just the fact that nobody could see me. Because the art is really interesting.
How do we tell him? Now, I want to draw your attention to this tweet from Jamie Greisemer, former lead designer of Halo CE and Halo 2, and the 30 Seconds of Fun guy who had a huge part in the core gameplay and fun factor of Halo. Completely overwhelmed by the response to this. Thank you so much for the support, and especially to those who have donated. It helps enormously. Good, because I bet you get a cease and desist takedown demand on your own art by Monday morning. Sorry, that might have sounded like I was criticizing you instead of Bungie's comically aggressive lawyers. I love your art and they should not have stolen it. Comically aggressive lawyers, those 3 words coming from a former Bungie employee, it says a lot. It says a lot.
Yeah, it is completely true. I could imagine them looking at that being like, We stole their art, but nobody knows that yet. And we can't let anybody know, so we have to go after this person. He stole my art! He stole the art, we gotta take him down. And then don't let anybody know about it. Well, we got to it first. Or Anti-Real got to it first.
Now, how else has Bungie responded to this? Well, you could sum up everything.
Corporate. Very corporate PR. Not enough. That's how they responded.
In this one article title, the vibes have never been worse. New report details.
Bad vibes, bro. We ain't got good vibes at our company right now. And that's totally bogus. But we're totally gonna be rad again. Man, trust us. We'll be super fly next time. Oh!
Bungie morale in free fall after marathon art theft claims. The vibes have never been worse. Marathon is expected to release in September and sell for $40. At this rate, though, so much uncertainty has been planted in the seeds of this game.
Even if they didn't rip off the art, selling this game for $40 is insane to me.
I don't know where things are going to go forward with this, but I would be shocked if the game is not delayed. Even going as far back as
delayed and also made free to play like Destiny 2, because remember, Destiny 2 wasn't free to play when it came out.
It's like Battlefield 5. Like, when you hear a lot of negative shit about a game before it's even out, kind of poisons the well. And it's a damn shame, because I think even if it's an extraction shooter, Marathon deserves another chance. Doom got one, but this controversy has been a complete disaster for Bungie and Marathon by all accounts. There are no real winners in this story, except if you follow N2 and at least, you know, look at their art and give them some support. By the time this goes up, I'm sure there will be some other updates, but the right thing to do is so simple. Bungie has to fervently apologize and either credit this person for their contributions, or they write a check, a really big check. No matter what,
I think they're fucked. I think they're gonna have to shut this game down and just make something new. I don't think we're gonna be seeing a Marathon. They might change the name and slap a new coat of paint on it and it basically be the same game. Who knows what they're gonna do? I don't think there's really, they broke themselves on this one.
Bungie's checkbook is coming out. That's the right thing to do. But what do you think? Are you still interested in playing Marathon?
I never was. Bungie's fucked. 100% cooked. And if it gets worse, I'll be here. If it gets delayed, I'll be here. If they cancel it, I'll definitely be here. I'll make 10 videos about it if it's canceled. This whole situation's just hilarious to me. It's amazing. You love to see it. I have t-shirts down there in the description. If you want to buy one, I'm out.